The last thing I'm going to talk about is custom operators. Custom operators allow us to define completely new operators that we can use in our code. To create a new operator, we need to specify what kind of operator it is first. Is it a prefix operator, an infix operator, or a postfix operator? So you specify the type of operator, and then the symbol you want to use for the operator. So we'll use the bank symbol in this case. So now that we know what the symbol is for this operator, we need to define a function that tells the compiler what kind of operand it accepts and what it returns. The reason I'm using the word operand instead of parameter is that's just conventional when we're talking about operators. The arguments that they accept are referred to as operands. This one keeps things simple, and it takes a string operand and it returns a string. Then what the operator actually does is add the dis prefix to whatever the word operand was. And now we can use this operator right in our code. And we can see that we get disassociate, disconnect, and disappear. Now let's look at an infix operator. For an infix operator, we need to define its associativity and precedence, and so it's a little bit different than the prefix operator. Here we've assigned this to left associative and its precedence to 155. Then the rest of the operator definition continues like we saw. For this operator, we're going to take two operands, which are integers, and then return another int. I'm going to give you a second to see if you can figure out what this operator is actually doing. So go ahead and take a second and see if you can figure it out. If you guessed exponentiation, or the exponent, then you got it right. So for this first example we have here, we're raising 5 to the second power, and this gives us a result of 25. And then we take and chain it together, so this is actually computing 25. I could just write 25. And then it's raising that to the second power and giving us 625. Now I'll skip on down to the bottom for our postfix example. This definition is similar to the prefix example, and it takes one operand and returns the result. In this case, we're taking an int and we're returning a double. So you'll notice that it doesn't have to be the case that the types of the operands match the return type. And this operator is pretty slick. It converts an integer followed by a % sign into its decimal representation. Now that's pretty cool.